Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. Is it a good point? Kind of depends what way you look at it. From the perspective of being 2-0 down against the team that are top of the league right now, yeah, it's probably a decent point. When you look at the first 30 minutes and the way we were playing, yeah, it was a good point. But when you look at the rest of the game, or the bigger picture race for the top four, it's incredibly disappointing that Liverpool could not get what would have been a deserved 3 points today against Arsenal. Part of the reason that it was so critical to get the 3 points was that we've been so poor in recent games. We knew we had a tough run of games coming up. It was going to be City away, Chelsea away, and Arsenal at home. And in those 3 games, the general consensus was that we probably needed 5 points out of those 9 to stay in the race for the top 4. But after those 3 games, all we have is 2. It's 2 out of 9, and that might have just ended our chances to get top 4 this season. It was a really poor first 30 minutes, 35 minutes from Liverpool today. As soon as the whistle went, Martinelli nearly got in within the first minute. He absolutely roasted Trent 1v1, played it into the box. Arsenal could have scored. But it didn't take them much longer to go ahead. Martinelli scored after 8 minutes. Saka was running at the Liverpool defence. The ball at one point ricochets off Van Dijk into Martinelli's pass. Van Dijk then misses the opportunity to tackle him. Robbo and Trent are closing Martinelli down from either side, but he ends up running straight through the heart of the Liverpool defence to toe poke past Alisson and to put Arsenal ahead. And we've seen it way too many times this season. Teams attacking directly through our defence. It just cannot happen. It was littered with mistakes. And Arsenal were passing the ball pretty well at this point. There was no real intensity in Liverpool's press. And they could have gone 2-0 up after about 15, 16 minutes. Jesus on the left-hand side plays a pass, crossfield pass to Saka. And Jesus just kind of 3/4 sprints his way into the box, not even a full sprint. Trent is sort of following him. He's moving out of position at one point, then realizes the danger. Too late. Saka had already played the ball to the far post, and Jesus really should have scored. He ends up skying it over the bar. But it was poor from Trent, and again, just this lack of awareness or intensity to be in the right place at the right time defensively. That was the warning, and it didn't take that long for Arsenal to make it 2. Again, it originates from the left-hand side. This time, Martinelli has the ball, and Konate and Trent are closing him down, but not enough. They let Martinelli turn inside, cross the ball into the box, and Jesus with a free header with Van Dijk on one side and Robertson on the other. So there were 2 Arsenal players against 4 Liverpool defenders, both doubled up, and the Arsenal players got the better of them. Not good enough. Terrible defending again. And how many times have we said this about Liverpool this season? We're just so easy to score against. And as long as we're like that, we're not going to pick up good results. At this point, it looks so bleak for Liverpool, and I'm just almost just wanting the season to end at this stage because we can't seem to attack properly. We were so disjointed going forward. Jota's losing the ball continuously. We can't progress the ball through the midfield, and we can't defend. And it's just been really hard watching Liverpool recently. But there was a catalyst. There was a change in the mentality of the players. It seemed to be when Trent got in a bit of a scuffle with Xhaka. Xhaka kind of left the foot in late on him. Trent squared up to him. A bunch of players clashed. And this seemed to really fire up Trent. The crowd got going, and suddenly there was more urgency in everything we did. We ended up getting a goal soon after, and it was really nicely worked. The ball was played out to Jones on the left-hand side. Great little flick to Robertson, who on the overlap plays it into Henderson, mishits a shot, Salah following up on the far post. Liverpool pull a goal back, and it's 2-1 Arsenal. From that point onwards, Trent played extremely well, the best I've seen him going forward in months. And that's been one of the major criticisms of him. Of course, this season, defensively, Trent's standards have dropped significantly. But he was never that good a defender anyway. But offensively, we expect so much from him, and he hasn't had that, well, not to the level he's able to this season, or at least in recent months. But today, from the moment he got in that scuffle with Xhaka, Trent was exceptional. Liverpool were actually playing with that box midfield that City use and that Arsenal use today. Against City, Stones would move into the double pivot position with Rodri. And Arsenal do the same thing. Zinchenko moves from left back into the double pivot with Partey when they're on the ball in order to progress it forward. And Trent did that today for Liverpool. He would move into the centre with Fabinho. Konate would move out wide to the right, Van Dijk in the centre, and then Robbo on the left. And this actually worked really well because Trent just has so much natural ability on the ball. He can then progress it forward so much better than Henderson or Fabinho or even Jones in this case. And I gotta say, it's going to be interesting to see how this tactic progresses now going forward. Because when we were in Arsenal's box, Trent was a big part of the reason why we were able to sustain attacks going forward. He was essentially in a double pivot midfield position, but he was picking up loose balls. He was getting more involved in play. He was playing nice passes, spreading it around. He was our biggest creative force, playing some really nice over-the-top balls to Salah as well. Now, of course, Arsenal didn't punish us defensively, as you might expect, with Trent vacating that right-hand position completely. But maybe this works in our favour because Konate, who's obviously much better than Trent defensively, particularly one-on-one, he's then left to cover the right-hand channel. And Trent is doing his thing in the centre of the park. And it was Trent who created the second goal. He had the ball on the right-hand side at the byline, nutmegs Zinchenko, brilliant play, chips it into the far post, and Firmino with a great header to make it 2-2. And at that point, it was nothing more than Liverpool deserved. In fact, they should have brought the game level much before that. In particular, Salah missed a penalty. I mean, that's the second penalty in a row that he's missed, and important ones. If we had scored that goal earlier, there was a much better chance that Liverpool would have gone on to get the 3 points today. In the last game against Bournemouth, when he missed the penalty, we were 1-0 down. If we'd equalised there, we could have gone on to win it. And twice, both occasions now, Salah has missed he hasn't just missed the penalty, he's missed the target. You cannot do that. Salah did get the goal, but his finishing was very poor today overall. He really should have had another. First half, he had a kind of a one-on-one opportunity with Ramsdale where he just got it all wrong, tried to play it with the outside of his left foot, but the angle was too hard, just hit it straight out. There was an opportunity in the second half where the ball's played over the top. Salah's actually being pulled back by Tierney, but he still gets a right foot volley and skies it over the bar. And it was one of those situations where if Salah goes down, it probably would have been a penalty. But because he gets his shot away, they don't get it, even though he's being fouled. It's a difficult one. Salah had another opportunity where he cut inside, took a shot that deflected off Gabriel, was going right for the top corner, and Ramsdale somehow made a world-class save, fingertipped it past the post. That would have been 3-2, I think, or that would have been 2-2 maybe at that point. I gotta say, it seemed like Salah's penalty misgotten his head though, because after that, he was giving the ball away constantly. Almost every time he got it. The one time he didn't, he actually played a brilliant ball through to Nunes, who was one-on-one. Again, though, I never felt totally convinced by him. Kind of struggled to get the ball out of his feet and played a pretty tame effort, quite comfortably saved by Ramsdale in the end. But at this point, from that 35-minute onward, Liverpool were completely the dominant side. They had 21 shots to 9 for Arsenal by the end of the game. We had sustained pressure for the first time in I can't even remember when the last game where we really dominated a good side with sustained pressure. And the foundation of it was our ability to win the ball back early. That intensity to really kill yourself to win that ball, because if we win it back from them quickly, then we can play on the transition and move up quickly and generate chances. And that's how a lot of these players are suited to playing. So it did give me some hope that if we do get that energy back in the centre of the park via transfers this summer, that maybe that will have the positive effects on the attack and the defence, because once we're winning the ball back quickly like that, the defence can push higher up the pitch. We've got sustained pressure. We recycle the ball back into play faster. We create more chances. Suddenly everything works better. And it felt like a Liverpool performance. It felt like a Klopp team. And I've said this so many times this season. Well, not so many times. I've said it multiple times. But the problem is the consistency. We do it every 4 or 5 games. Absolutely not enough. And then deep into stoppage time, the best chance of all. Trent plays the ball in. I think it was the second phase of play. I believe it was Nunes heads the ball right back across the goal. And Konate is there 5 or 6 yards out with the whole goal in front of him. And you're thinking, it has to be a goal. He ends up chesting it though, and Ramsdale makes the save. You're thinking the first time you see it, why didn't he head it? Why didn't he volley it? It might have come at him so quick that that was the only thing he could do. But it looked like an absolute guaranteed goal. Salah picks up the ball on the rebound. And again, he's 6 yards out, back to goal. Gabriel's pulling him, drags him down. He's all over him. No penalty. I mean, sometimes I feel Salah gets pulled so much and hardly ever gets free kicks for it. I just don't understand how you can have your hands all over a forward like that and for defenders to get away with it. But it was one of those moments where you're scratching your head. How did the ball not go in there? Liverpool actually finished the game with an expected goals, according to Understat, of 4.64. 4.64. That is an incredibly high expected goals number. You very, very rarely see that. Arsenal only had 1.54. So Liverpool had a full 3 goals more than Arsenal, and we still drew the game. That tells you the story. That is incredibly disappointing. Salah, of course, was the main culprit for not converting another chance. What does this all mean? Well, unfortunately, it means that Liverpool pretty much need to be perfect for the remaining 9 games. They almost need to win every single one to have a chance of making the top 4 now. Newcastle won at the weekend, United won at the weekend. We're just so many points behind at this stage. If Liverpool can play like this, I hope, like, you're just wondering, is the penny ever going to drop? Are we going to get the consistency in the play? If we can perform at that level as we did for that last hour, yeah, we're going to win most of the games. But we've just been incapable of doing that consistently this season. So I've no real confidence that we'll go to Leeds, we'll go to Ellen Road next week and get the 3 points, because you just don't know what kind of performance level Liverpool are going to put in. The encouraging thing, though, is it did, at least that was a team, that was an exciting team that felt recognisable to me. And I do like the tactical switch with Trent moving into the centre. He looked like De Bruyne in there at times in midfield with that creativity and that ability to pass. Teams might work out a way to punish him, but who knows? Maybe this will be a touch of genius from Klopp that'll help Liverpool maximise the amount of points they can get towards the end of the season. Anyway, what did you think today? Let me know in the comments. Were you happy with a point from Liverpool today? Look forward to reading about it. I'll see you in the next video.